If you want to learn how to make these incredible pumpkin chocolate chunk cookies that are incredibly ooey gooey in the center, and it has a nice crispy exterior, and it's so soft. It's definitely not cakey like most pumpkin cookies out there. And the nice thing about this cookie is that it stays soft for days after you bake them. So let's get started with our brown butter. You're going to place your butter in a small saucepan and you're going to place this on low heat. The butter is going to melt completely and then it's going to start to foam up. And once it starts to foam, the brown specks start showing up. And you want to use a rubber spatula to kind of stir it around. And you guys are going to smell this incredible aroma of nuttiness. It's just going to smell so good. That's when you know your butter is ready. Place it in a bowl and we're going to let this cool at room temperature for 45 minutes or in the refrigerator for 15 minutes. We want the consistency of room temperature butter. While the brown butter is cooling, we're going to get started on chopping up our chocolate. So I have 2 bars of the Ghirardelli semi-sweet chocolate, and I'm going to use a serrated knife, and I'm going vertically, then I'm going to go horizontally, and I'm just trying to create little squares. I'm trying to create little chunks of chocolate, bigger chunks, and like a nice puddle of chocolate. So it has all these like different notes and textures. So just set that in a bowl and set to the side. So let's get started on mixing our dry ingredients. I have AP flour and cornstarch, baking soda, baking powder, salt, and pumpkin spice. And I'm going to give all of this a really good whisk just to combine and set that aside. So my butter is ready to go. Its consistency is just like room temperature, and I'm going to pour my brown sugar and my granulated sugar, and I'm going to use a handheld mixer, but feel free to use a stand mixer. This recipe works for both. If you're using a stand mixer, use the paddle attachment. So I'm going to start this off on low speed and work my way up to medium high speed. And I'm going to mix this until the mixture is light and fluffy. The butter to sugar ratio, right now there's like a lot of sugar versus the butter, unlike other cookies, but that's because we're adding pumpkin puree to this, and we're adding 2 whole eggs, which will soften this cookie dough, gonna soften it up a lot. My batter is starting to look soft, and it's definitely grown in volume. Doubled in volume is what you're looking for. Now we're going to add 1 egg at a time. So 1 egg, mix on medium speed, ensure everything's fully combined, and add another egg and mix until everything's fully combined. And once you got all of that combined, add your last addition of egg and mix. Stop the mixer and scrape down. And now we can add our vanilla paste and our pumpkin puree. If you don't have vanilla paste, feel free to add vanilla extract. I just like vanilla paste because it has a stronger flavor, but vanilla extract works just as fine. And then I'm just going to mix this up until combined. So as you can, and scrape down the bowl, as you can see, it's super light and fluffy, and this is kind of what you're looking for. And now we're going to add our dry ingredients. So we built up a bunch of air and it's light and fluffy. With the dry ingredients, less is more because now there's flour in there. So I like to, because I'm using a handheld mixer, I like to add my flour into 2 additions so it's not a big mess. And using a rubber spatula, I try and fold it in just so that I don't have to go in with the mixer as long. And then if you're using a stand mixer, go ahead and add all the flour at one time and just mix on low until combined. Same thing here, as we put all the flour together, we're just gonna mix this on low until combined. And now we're gonna add our chocolate chunks. And with the chocolate chunks, you wanna fold this by hand. And that's it, guys. Easy peasy, right? So let's scoop this. I think it's easiest to scoop the dough while raw. So scoop it. I'm using a large cookie scoop because I like a big cookie, like a bakery style cookie. But you can use a small cookie scoop. You'll bake it a little bit less if the cookie is smaller. But I just like a nice big cookie. So I scooped it all up, and I'm just gonna wrap this in plastic and cool for about an hour. So my cookies have cooled, and now I'm going to grab a serrated knife and I'm gonna cut it through the middle. And this is the secret to get those nice visual chunks of chocolate that you get to see on the top. So I kind of cut it in the middle and kind of squish it to make a little puck, little hockey puck. And then I kind of put it back together, smash it back together. So this looks great. You see those nice pieces of chocolate, and they're gonna bake off so nicely. So I have the oven preheated at 350, and I'm gonna bake these for about 12 minutes. And this is how they look like. They're so yummy. You can smell all the pumpkin and the spices. They just smell so great. So I'm gonna scoop this onto my cutting board just so that they cool off a little bit faster and we can bite into them. But they're already feeling ooey gooey in the center. And this is how they look like. They have this perfect shape to them, and let's bite into one. Oh my God, guys, these are so soft and gooey in the center, and the puddles of chocolate, it just melts in your mouth. It definitely has this great pumpkin flavor with all the spices and the pumpkin puree. I hope you guys loved this recipe, and if you liked this video and find it helpful, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you. See you guys next time.